So today we're going to discuss a little bit about the M machine, the multiplication machine. So let's take a look at our grid here. We have one line, y equals to 1, and this is a dotted line, y equals to 1. And then we have y equals to x, which is going right through the origin, and the other line is y equals to 3x. Notice that this line changes, so this line right here is changing as I'm moving the blue point. Okay, so as I move the blue point along the x-axis, my line is also changing. And the reason for that is that line is y equals to nx, where n is the values on the x-axis. So now my equation is y equals to 4x, y equals to 12x. If I move it the opposite way, y equals to negative 6x, and since it has a negative slope, my line is going downwards. So as I change that blue value, that line is also changing because that line is the coefficient, those x values are the coefficient of x for that equation. Okay, the green point is always moving along the y equals to x line, which means that as my x is changing, y is changing by the same value, or the values are going to equal each other, y equals to x. So since my x value here is 10, my y value is also going to be 10. If I move it along the x-axis, since my x value here is negative 5, then my y value is also negative 5. So the green point, or the green line segment, is moving along the y equals to x line, and it will always do that. Okay, so how about the red line? So the red line is changing as I'm changing the green and as I'm changing the blue value. So both of them, both ways is changing. But notice it's moving along the same line as the blue part. Okay, it's not moving along y equals to x. It's moving along the other line, which in this case is y equals to 2x. So if I write, so in this example we have 2 times 10, which according to the red line should be 20. Okay, so 2 times 10 is 20. So now this line that the blue point falls on is y equals to 2x, and this line right now is y equals to 10, or 10 equals to 10, because the x and y values are the same. So if I plug that in, so if I plug this value in for that equation, which in this equation it's y equals to 2x, and I plug the value of x, then I would have y equals to 10. So 2 times 10, which is 20. Okay, so now let's move the green, and I have negative 7, so my multiplication problem would be 2 times negative 7, so this line is y equals to 2x, and if I plug in negative 7 for the value of x, then y equals to 2 times negative 7, which is negative 14, which is also negative 14 according to the blue line. Okay, so now if I can move, we can say negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2. We could say negative 2 times 2 would be negative 4, so this is y equals to negative 2x, and this would be, the value would be 2, so I plug in 2, y equals to negative 2 times 2, which would be negative 4. This also has to do with similar triangles. Okay, so if I move it a little closer, notice that this triangle right here has a height of 3, okay, and the base is 3. Okay, so it has a height of 1, I apologize, and a base of 3. If I look at the other similar triangle, it has a base of 21 and a height of 7. Okay, so they're similar triangles. If I write this in a proportion, base over the height, I would have 3 over 1 equals to 21 over 7, which would simplify into 3 over 1. So they actually create similar triangles. Okay, so if I multiply, and here we have so the smaller triangle here and the larger red triangle are similar triangles. So let's see if that always works. Or let's look at negative numbers. So I have -2 times 3. So let's look at our first triangle. It has a height of 1 and a base of -2. Even though we don't measure distance in negative numbers, so we'll say it has a distance of 2. And here we have a height of 3 and a distance of 6, so they're still similar triangles. The negative here, since we're dealing with measurements, it's not really a negative measurement, but it's more with direction. So it's telling you it's on the left side of the grid instead of the right side of the grid. So this is more of telling you the direction. Okay, so we know that our answer is 6 on the left side of the grid, if you're talking geometry wise. Okay, so this is the M machine for you. Okay, so we did a little bit of the algebra where we created our y equals to x equation and our other linear equation y equals to nx, and also it deals with similar triangles. And that's it for today.